Hello and welcome to Path of Exile Necropolis League. I've been trying to level from level 1 to level 90 as quickly as possible. So I did the videos where I start at 59 and I go to 90 and I try to level as quickly as possible. And I got that down to 30 minutes and 2 or 3.7 billion EXP per hour. But I want to do even better. So now I'm going to go over the leveling gear that I'm going to use to get from 1 to 90, and we'll go over that now. And I've really been working on this list to narrow it down to just the select few items that I need to get there from 1 to 90 smoothly. So let's take a look at it. I'm going to be going over, I think, every bit of gear that I'm going to be using, and I'll hover over the items to make sure you can take a look at them and see the stats. And this is mainly for melee characters. Some of the items apply to anybody, because it's just the best thing. So for example, this is going to be pretty good for almost anybody because there's movement speed. It's got enough stuff on it. Projectiles, maybe not like a minion build, but still 10% movement speed was good for me and a lot of other people. So let's get into each item and I'll explain why I'm using them. Here we go. All right, so let's go over the first item. It's going to be our helm. We're going to start off with the gold rim. And I've been trying to get a corrupted gold rim, but also I needed all red. I needed all red sockets on this one. So I've been doing the all red socket thing with the bench crafting, and then linking them up and going from there. So let's see if we can get another one. I'm going to give it one more shot here. So I've got it all red, and I got it 20%. Everything's fine, and I don't need it 4 linked. But let's see if we get something. Nope. And then the item we're going to be using after that, so we start off with this one and make sure it's close to 39 or 40, maybe even 38 as far as the elemental. If you hold down Alt to all resistances, you just want to get that as close as possible. It's just nice to have. And then at 24, or I'm sorry, at 38, I'm going to be switching over to the Gall Mask. So this will get me to level 90, and this is the one that really boosts your EXP per hour, because it makes the shrines more effective, and then it also increases the duration of the shrine. So once we get into the shrine EXP boosting mode, this is the mask, this is the item we have to have on for that. Cool. The next item is kind of interesting. It's going to be the belt we're going to go over next. And I'm going to be starting off with a Stygian Vice, and it's corrupted, but look at that thing. It says it's 50 to 100. Well, I got as close to 100 as possible. There's really expensive ones. I think these go for like 10 divine if it's perfectly rolled. It's expensive. And then, so I'll start with that one. And then at 50, I'll transition over to this belt, which is Immortal Flesh. It has a lot of life regen, mana. It has the minus 16 to all, but I'll be able to handle that easily. And then the extra armor, because I'm going to be using Purity of Elements, so I'll never be ignited, frozen, or shocked, and that adds a ton of armor to us too, on top of our armor. And then I got the Double Corrupt on it, which has 6% increased life and 40% increased critical strike chance during any flask effects. And we're going to be having flask effects automated and up all the time, so it's good to go. So let's take a look at the belt that we're going to start off with at level 1. And all this stuff you can have on by level 4 or 5, you'll be able to put all this on. And then at level 8, you'll be able to put this. But anyways, let's get to the belt. What this does is almost doubles the effect of any of the jewels. So when we look at this, this adds almost 100 armor, just this jewel alone. 18 dex, 18 int, and about 17 actually. And then almost like 38% increased damage if I've killed recently. And then this one gets almost doubled. So this gives us almost 200 armor. Just these 2 gems on this belt at level 1, which is plenty for, pushing into this. We're going to be adding some more armor right here. And some extra movement speed if I've killed. So then an extra 5% movement speed and some lightning resist. But I really wanted the armor, a little bit of life, and I like those two. Finding these jewels is not easy to make sure. It has to be under level, lower than level 10 on the jewels too. So That's a nice belt. I like it. I'm happy with it. That's going to get me to 50. That's going to get me to 90. Cool. Let's go over the amulet next. The amulet is going to be, you could use this for quite a few different builds. Maybe not a minion build, but a lot of builds. The 10% movement speed is just really, really nice to have. It's got accuracy, dexterity, all this other stuff on it. I don't think I want to corrupt it. The 25 dex is nice to have. I'm cool with that. And then at 49, we switch over to Defiance of Destiny. And this was an expensive one. This will cost you multiple divines. A regular one is going to cost... It was down to like, I don't know, like 2 divines. Let's see what it is. Just a plain one. Let's see, the cheapest one. 2.5 divines, not bad. If you're pushing for speed leveling and multiple characters, this is going to be a critical item to get. So start with that. If not, you can find other ones, but this is going to be a really good one that's going to be making life very very pleasant. So definitely go for this. All right, cool. This, I mean, I made a completely different video on this, just showcasing how powerful it is. It'll make you nearly invincible. Not really, but close. You can take, if I get hit for 250 damage, I'll die. But if I get hit for 211, I won't die, even if I'm down to 1 health. So it's really nice. Cool. Let's go over the gloves next. It's a little bit more complex, but not much. I've decided on just going with this one, even though the movement speed wouldn't kick in until I'm low health, and that doesn't happen very often on this character, meaning 50% or less. I don't mind the accuracy. I was looking at some kind of a replacement, but here's the thing. By level 24, which is going to happen very quickly, I'm switching over to this belt. This set of gloves. The reason being, it has curse on enemies, it has some extra life, the attack speed is cool, and it has rampage built into it. And it has, every time you tier up, and rampage has 13 tiers to it, as you're rampaging, it heals you for 20% of your life. And the vulnerability on hit is huge. If I didn't have that, if I didn't have this one, I would have this. I would definitely use this. This has a lot of damage, a lot of crit strike, everything to it. So I would use this and make it. So I'm starting with this. At 24, we swap over here because I have this. If you don't, I would make one of these. Let's go ahead and make one of these now. What I would do is I would find one with a corrupt that's already been corrupted. Like this cost me 25 chaos, which was dirt cheap, and I couldn't believe it. So I was like, "Oh, nice!" And it was on the auction house for the trade site for a while, like multiple days. But this one, we're gonna make it ourselves. So let's do this right now. We're gonna quality it up. Oops, sorry, quality it up. 1 second. Quality it up like this, so up to 20. No problem. And we're just taking it. This only costs 2 chaos. They're dirt cheap. So then we're going to go like this. We're going to get it's perfectly set. We're going to make it that way. And we want it in actual, for my build, and your build will be a little bit different. But let's say you want it a certain way. Well, I need it. I know that I'm going to need blue, red, and red, blue linked like this, but not triple linked. So let's work on that. And we're going to just go like this. And that. Just like that. Cool. Now this item is a dex-based item, so the likelihood of me getting red, blue like this is extremely low. This is off-coloring 4 sockets. So I could take a couple of these and just go like this. But the likelihood of it hitting is extremely low. But I could start with a red or a blue here. It doesn't have to be in that perfect order. So let's see if I can get a red or a blue there. There we go. That'll work. I'm sorry, a correction. I needed a red and a blue to start this process, I think. So I got it down to 2 links, and we're going to type in sockets. This is a tricky one to get. You won't usually run into this issue, but I am, because I needed to do this. So we're going to add a socket. We're down to 2 sockets. I've got red and blue here, so it's off color. And then I need a red or a blue in the bottom ones. So we're going to go like that. And then we're going to go back. And if you type in sockets, the full word, it'll bring up this whole thing here, which is good. Sockets, come on. I'm always scared that I'm going to mess it up here. Nope. We're just going to go back and forth until it lands. No problem, we'll get there. Right here, it's going to work it. Nice. Now I need a blue over here. So we're going to add the fourth socket. And then we'll go back to 3. Notice how it just takes off that last one. And then we're going to need a blue socket. This one might take a little bit because it's a little tricky. And this is expensive to do, but still, it's... I don't know of an easier way to get to this. 3 sockets and 4 sockets. I'll be right back. That was the very next one. So now I've got what I need, and I need the links set correctly. Just like... Not that way. Not that way. That way. Perfect. And then, and this is only for me. For you, you'll be able to do other things. And now, after all that, I have to take the risk and corrupt it. And this could just brick the item, but I definitely need to. Here we go. So, bricked. But that's what I'm shooting for. So, you really want to look up, like on PoE Wiki, a list of unique gloves, and then pick your base that you want to go from. For me, it was this one or this one, and for you, it'll be different, but that's what you're going to do. And then work your way through to get a good pair of gloves, or just buy one. Probably cheaper to buy one. You know, that's not actually a bad pair of gloves. I'll sell it. Next up, let's go over the boots. I went with a 7-step league boots. You could go with other things. There's storm chargers. You could get 40% movement speed on those. You can get just a regular pair of boots with 20% movement speed, but I wanted to go with 50%, and I'll probably be corrupting and getting a corrupted pair and see if I can get any other kind of stat. But the problem with some of the corrupted ones is the level requirement changes, so be really careful with that. So I'm happy with these, and then once I start the mapping experience, I've moved over to a faster situation there. So this will help with movement speed, but until the mapping EXP run, these are going to be fine. And notice that it's red, 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 green, and red, 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 green, all set up the same. Nice. So those are easy, and then a boots like this. Cool. I also know that I'll be leveling some gems in my offhand, so I've got red, 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 green, all set up. Level 1 items, so, or, you know, the level requirement is really dirt cheap, low. There's no level requirement, so I can just put these on right away and have the ability to level up gems in the offhand. Nice. We're getting closer to the end here. I always have a stack of these and these ready, and then we're going to go over the armor. This armor goes on at level 8. I don't need it until level 8. Roas won't be a problem because we're going to have 200 armor just because of this. So we're in good shape. The armor that I think I made this armor. I put a Stygian hollow fossil on there to get this hollowed like that, so I could put this gem in there. And it adds armor, life, a little bit of cold, lightning, and int. And then the item itself gives me 121 armor. So I'll be in good shape until level 25. And I'm going to wear this. This is going to get me all the way up until I start doing maps, the tier 16 maps, which will be around level like 59. I do one map of a tier 1 map, and then I go right to tier 16s at like within. I get 10 levels from the first tier 16 tier 1 map that I do, and then I transition into from away from this one. So we start here, then we go to this one, and then I put on the actual good armor at 68. And your armor will vary. I just wanted to have melee hits with a chance to fortify, so I don't have to have fortify on my 6 link as part of my main attack. Cool. So that's the armor I'm going to be using. And now let's go over the rings. You can do it a little bit differently, but I've done it where I've had 2 of these on. You could do it with 2 of these, but I went with 1 of these and 1 of these. It just helps with mana at the very beginning. Eventually, mana is not going to be an issue at all. So I switch over, but I switch over at 20. So it doesn't really, this is just to get me to 20, these 2 rings. So we have the Blackheart and the Parandus ring, the Signet. And it does, what's the other part that's good? Not the 2% in experience, that's a non-issue. The mana regen is nice. Increased intelligence, it's fine. But you could do either ring. This is just going to get us to 20, a little bit smoother with any mana issues we run into. Nice. And then at 20, this is crucial. You're gonna need one of these rings. It's extremely powerful. They'll kill the bosses for you, these summoned wolves, as long as you can get them summoned. And you pretty much can in almost all the fights. And we're going to be wearing this and this until level 30. And then we're going to be switching over to this one. I actually made this ring with the gain 6 mana per enemy hit. So for Cyclone, which I'll be doing, Cyclone uses 6 mana, so I'll be getting back the mana, so it won't be an issue on that as well. Nice. And then we have the mana regen, which won't be an issue either. And then this ring is extremely important to have, and that's Death's Rush. So Death's Rush is going to get us adrenaline for 3 seconds, which is amazing. If you hold down Alt, that explains what adrenaline does. 100% increased damage, 25% increased attack speed and movement speed, 10% additional physical damage reduction. Okay. So it's really, really a really powerful ring. So that's what you want to switch over to. Nice. I'm hoping this will get me to level 90, this ring. If not, I can switch over to a ring that'll get me maybe some chaos resistance and and fill in other resistances if they're low. But in general, this setup can easily get us to 90, and I can play this. I mean, I could play this without a ring slot if I wanted to, but this should get us to 90, these 2 rings. Nice. If you're a Marauder and you're going to be doing the massive EXP run, this is going to be crucial to it. You're going to get the Forbidden Flame Jewel with Hinakorora, and it allocates Death's Fury. So you're going to need the left side and the right side, and you put it into your passive tree, and you put both in there, and you'll unlock that. It's an entire ascendancy from the champion, so it's a really, really important thing to get. It explodes whole screens worth because it does so much damage. It's a 5% chance, but you're going to be facing massive packs, and when they explode, it kind of chains, and then it can just blow up entire screens. So that's why I have this set and ready to go. It's really important. We'll put that right there and there. Also, I have the jewels that I'm going to be using. One with Corrupted Blood and some extra damage, and then this one is just pure damage and has lots of and life. So life, damage. Nice. And I have some other ones too. This one, Corrupted Blood, is nice to have on there. It saves you it saves me one of the passive points. Pretty cool. I think we're almost done. Let's go over the weapons. I'm starting off with this one that you can throw that on at level, let's see. Oh, no level requirement. Perfect. So you could have 2 of these, but basically I only put 1 of these on, and then at level 5, I throw this thing on. and the damage is fine. You could do 2 of these. It doesn't matter at all. Your damage is going to be through the roof. So you could go with 2 of these, or 1 and 1, doesn't matter. I probably should have just went with 2 of these. And damage early on, I mean, it's going to be easy. And then at level 13, I go over to the wood splitter. And then at 18, I have the pole axe. And then 37, so it's a big gap here, and I've been looking for filler weapons, and I really haven't found any good two-handed filler weapons. There might be one at 28, but even it has some weird downsides. So until I find a filler weapon, this is still fine. But then it is kind of a large gap in there. But then at 38 or 37, I get this one. 40, I get that one, so it's a very quick one. Within a heartbeat, I'll be 40. At 40, I hope to do the run from 40 to 100 in under an hour. Level 40 to 100. We'll see if I can pull that off. At 51, I have this one all set up and ready to go. And at 59, I grab this. And then once we hit 68 and we start doing the map runs, I switch over to my main massive weapon. Just like, all this stuff gets switched over at like 68, I think. 68, 68, and 68. So that's a big change at that time. But I'm just grabbing those weapons through here. This one I'm going to actually 6-link in a second using the Black Morgan through the bestiary. So I've linked that one. I just want to make them linked. And if you notice, it has green, red, and a blue on here, but that's gonna change. So the socket colors are all set and ready. See, it's green, triple red. Same thing here. I can go double green, triple red, and I've got white sockets, so it makes it even nicer. I've got it all set up. So the first one, I don't need it that way with double green, because I'm going to be using these two can only have 1 green because I'm going to be using Molten Strike until 28, and then I'm going to be switching over. So I need a 28 weapon with green and green for Cyclone. So that's what I'll be fixing before I start this run. So I'll have a weapon to swap over. So I'll move these up like this, and it'll be something like that just to indicate the swap over time. Cool. So that's what I'm doing. This is the setup that I'm going to be using, and the gear I'll be using to do a 1 to 90 run. And I hope this helps. But I've went over a lot of different gear, and I think this is what I've settled on. And I hope it works. Have a good one and enjoy. If you have any questions or any suggestions, hey, try this. You should try this and that. I'm open to suggestions because I don't know all this stuff at all, but I have a good time with it. And this is turning out nice. I'm really going to be able to try to do 40 to 90 in under an hour, and then I'll work on the level 1 to 40 even more and more, and hopefully get the whole thing down to where a not good player like me can level to 90 in just a few hours instead of tens of hours. So that's what I'm trying to do. Have a good one and enjoy. Pretty cool. Oh, and I almost forgot. I did forget the flasks that I'm going to be using. I've tried different ones. I've tried a bunch of different ones. Eventually, I don't even need the healing potions or these. Like mana potions, I quickly don't need these. So I transition out of those. But for the start, I've tried it a bunch of different ways because I'm running by all the creatures and leveling really quickly. I went with the reused at end of flask charge, and you can get these to level 4s or level 6s, and for the minimum requirement. And I didn't really care too much about the suffixes. I just wanted the 7.2 seconds and the reused at end of charge. So this gives me 14, 28, and another 42 seconds of sprint on there. And if I wanted another 42 seconds, I can just use a portal in and out into a town and reset all these to full. So it gives you a ton of speed. So I went with 3 of those, and then at 27, when I switch over to Cyclone at 28, I throw this in there too, and that helps with the armor, because I can still get one shot if I have barely any armor, and this setup doesn't really have much. So when I hit a rare or a unique, this one automatically triggers and helps with the armor, which basically at level 28, 1500 armor plus the 50% increase, plus the duration increase is plenty, and it's plenty. And I kill the bosses pretty quickly, so it's not an issue. So we'll go from there. Have a good one, and I hope that covers it. And then you're gonna, work your other flasks that you want into your deal, into your mix. You'll be removing more of these and getting down to maybe one of these, and you'll have like a crit strike one. You'll have onslaught. It'll be up to you, but in general, these will get you through and to the leveling, the fast leveling experience. Cool. I hope that helps. But that's what I settled on. At first I had the ones where it would automatically get used when the charges were full, and that just wasn't it wasn't good enough. This is better for me. You can do it your other way, but this is what I went with. Cool. I hope that helps, and enjoy.